season. Thank you guys for coming through the crowded traffic, finding your way to a parking spot, and then making your way in. I appreciate your in-person attendance. And I also welcome those who are joining us online through our live stream option. Thank you all for taking the time out of a very busy Thursday morning to get us started with the year. I know that some parents might have to leave because we're all very busy. Please feel free to do that. Watch the clock. There's no offense taken. Please make sure that you guys take care of your lives. And so I wanted to go ahead and get us started as quickly as we can. Okay, so my name is Joy Liao, and I'm the wellness counselor for the class of 2028. I will be with your daughter all the way through graduation, which is thrilling to me, as I have already seen 2 different senior classes through graduation, and I'm really excited to see the growth that exists in your daughter through sophomore year, junior year, and lastly through senior year. Some of you guys may recognize me from last year's 9th grade coffee. For those who are new to me, a little bit about myself. I am a licensed professional counselor with a certification in Brene Brown's Daring Wave program. In my former career, I was an 8th grade and 12th grade English teacher in Portland ISD, but now I'm here as a school counselor. Welcome. This is my 4th year here at St. Agnes. I'm excited, again, to support your daughter all the way through graduation and to see the kind of growth that does exist in adolescence in this kind of messy middle space that we are all swimming in together. Okay. So a little bit about wellness before I move into sophomore year. There are a few updates to our wellness department, starting with our director, Ms. Asmite Gibber-Christos. She supports the class of 2026. My fellow wellness counselor, Ms. Sabrina Rodriguez, supports the class of 2027. And new to our team, Ms. Paola Guerra is the wellness counselor for the class of 2029, our newbies on campus. So briefly, wellness counseling here at St. Agnes takes on a solution-focused approach. We very much are looking to build problem-solving skills, collaboration, self-advocacy, and most important to our team, resiliency in our students. And we believe that a solution-focused approach to our counseling helps us with that end. By the time our students graduate, the goal is that they are not only excellent students, but also resilient individuals. The work that we do as school counselors here at St. Agnes meets the state standards for school counselors. For the past 2 years, we have been awarded the CREST Award for our programming efforts, CREST standing for Counselors Reinforcing Excellence for Students in Texas. It's a mouthful. Essentially, the work that we do is made current by meeting the standards of the state. And we very much value that our efforts, our time, our energy, the time in which we are in front of our students is relevant to their needs. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. So sophomore year. Welcome to the 2nd year of high school. It is a time of learning, a time of growth that we are all experiencing. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about this year by introducing us to some of the students and parents of last year's sophomore class. So at the end of last year, I interviewed both students and parents, asking them, what were your tips for success, wisdom gleaned from your year as a sophomore? And so I want to start here with the student perspective from the class of 2027, this year's juniors, where they share what their experience was like and how they found some success with various strategies they used. Okay. I think I have it pulled up. Awesome. If you can give me a moment. Actually, no, you know what? I don't. That's okay.
No problem.
Yeah, and then a few here.
Louder, yes.
Hold on. How do I make it louder? Oh, is that the? Is it that?
There.
Trying it, yeah.
Is that?
Let's play it.
Check my computer volume.
It's all the way up.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Thank you. Sorry if
tech
I
is-
blast your
yeah.
ears right now. Okay, here. Thanks, Sabrina.
There we go.
Does that work?
My name is Carson Kyle. I'm a
There you
sophomore
go.
in the past K7. It's my experience with sophomore. That's cool. Exactly. I would say that the hardest part of sophomore year was probably balancing all of my schoolwork and activities and social life. I feel like the biggest jump in high school that I've heard of when I talk to other people is definitely freshman year to sophomore year, because freshman year we kind of get to ease our way into things, and then sophomore year it's we just hit the ground running. And so just finding a way, whether that's using planners or an online agenda, things like that, to make sure that you stay on top of everything that you need to get done is very helpful. I learned how important it is to stay organized and to get on top of my work as soon as I receive it, so that it doesn't pile up and then I won't have a lot of work to do in the future. One of those resources was tutoring, with Miss Thompson, and she's been really good with helping me get on top of my math and stay ahead of my class.
You need to advocate for yourself. I probably could have done it more than I should have, but I think that advocating for yourself is really important. All the teachers were really understanding, and they were all on board with whatever I needed to do to be healthy and be able to come to school every day.
During sophomore year, I realized that I want to have great grades, but I also want to have strong friendships, because while it is me who has to be accountable for my actions, my grades, and my studying, I also realized that I give myself Fridays off. Every Friday, I don't study, I don't do any of that. Well, Friday nights after school, even if I have Monday, we're gonna break it on Friday and just study and finish it up the weekend. I will hang out with my friends and just de-stress, because that's one of the things that brings me joy, is hanging out with friends and family.
That I'm so much more capable than I thought I was. I think when we see a task at hand, it's so easy for us to be like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so hard, this is impossible. But then once you get it over with, it's nice to reflect back and be like, wow, I really was able to do that, when initially at first I had thought that it was gonna be so difficult, but I was able to persevere through the hardships and eventually come off.
Yeah, so I hope that by. Oh, okay. Right here. Okay. I'm gonna need to stay put, even though I like to walk. So I hope that by listening to the student perspective, you guys get a sense or a taste as to what your sophomore is going through this year. Let's go ahead.
Joy?
Yes.
Do kids see that?
Yes, and I'll explain when they see this. Yeah, that's a great question. So we'll talk a little bit about sophomore year to kind of normalize what you're witnessing in your sophomores this year. This year is about sustaining the wins of last year, of everything that they had gleaned from freshman year, any wins, any successes of freshman year, they're continuing to climb with it through sophomore year, junior year, and senior year. It can feel like a real grind at times because they're just hustling through. Thank you. Sophomore year is also an awkward in-between stage where your child feels hopefully a lot more comfortable coming on campus, where they feel like, oh, I know this school, I'm getting it better than I did last year. At the same time, adolescence is still with them, so they are still going through emotional intensity, the highs and lows of adolescence. There is that heightened social sensitivity and self-consciousness that they're feeling, perhaps even more so the more comfortable they become, as well as the desire for more freedom. I feel more comfortable, I feel a lot more independent, so why can't I get more freedom, not just here at school, but also at home? So there's that awkward in-between stage of, I feel a little bit more grown, but I'm still operating with my adolescent brain. because they're changing, their friendships might change. Their friend groups might also change. Sometimes the changes to their friend or social circles feels natural, very organic, everyone understands. Other times, as in most cases, there's a lot of conflict that comes with that change. A lot of insecurities that rise up, a lot of conflict between individuals. All of this, both personal, individual, and also social, is on top of the academic change that happens in sophomore year. There's a leveling up that happens where the teachers of sophomores expect their students to hit the ground running. We are only a week into school, and I'm sure you've heard from your sophomore, oh my goodness, this year is so different. We're not doing icebreakers in class. There's no soft entry. This is learning from the start. And that is the expectation of our sophomore teachers, that students are with it from the get-go, that they are able to be a lot more independent, resourceful, to be able to self-advocate for themselves earlier and often. The combination of classes that sophomores take also make a difference. Our students are taking chemistry, world history, as well as a higher level math class, which can range anywhere between geometry to algebra 2 to pre-cal. And some of our students are taking a double math class. So the combination of the academic load makes it that much more stressful for our students. As sophomores, a lot of our students start to sense the impending college application season. They see their upperclassmen friends or sisters going through that process, and they realize, oh, that's soon to be me. I've had a number of students already ask, when do I get my college counselor? And so there is overall heightened pressure that our sophomores feel. That in-between stage is very much their experience this year. You might experience from your kiddo that they are feeling a lot more overwhelmed more often than they did last year. Okay? At St. Agnes, we expect excellence in our students because we know that they can rise to the occasion. At the same time, we know that resilience is built in this space of discomfort. So psychologist Dr. Becky Kennedy talks about this learning space that exists. It's that space in which we feel a lot of discomfort, and the longer we stay in this space, the more resilience we build, okay? So to kind of break it down some more, in this learning space, it's the space that exists between knowing something very well and not knowing. It's that space that exists between feeling very self-confident and self-assured and the complete opposite, feeling very vulnerable, feeling insecure. Feeling skilled and a master in the craft, and feeling really unskilled, feeling out of our depths. The longer we stay in this space, the more resilience we are able to build. Now, any normal human being wants to shorten this space as much as possible or get to the end of this space as quickly as possible. Any normal human being. Like, I want this speech to be done quickly. But the longer we're able to stay in this space, so the slower I'm able to talk, the more resilient we become. The more we're able to tolerate frustrations, discomfort, stress of a messy middle ground, the more we're able to actually build calm in the midst of chaos, to build our genuine learning, our curiosity, versus feeling rigid and stuck with our script. Ultimately, this builds this long-term growth that we wish to graduate in our Academy of Women. And so if I had an analogy for sophomore year, I would compare it to this learning space. My encouragement to not just my students, parents, but also myself, when times get really stressful, when we're feeling overwhelmed, when we don't understand what we are experiencing, is is this encouragement. When we see the stress, the overwhelm, it's proof of progress that our child, our sophomore, has the opportunity to grow into the human that we wish for them to become, the longer we're able to hold calm with them in this space. If you guys remember, Carolina Black's sentiment about herself at the end of sophomore year was that she is a lot more capable than she thought she was. And that is a testament about her growth in sophomore year, the longer she stayed in her own learning space in her time last year. I do want to take some time to share with you guys the parent perspective. You don't need to hear from me. You can hear from people who are in your shoes. It is a 7-minute video, okay? So hold on tight. I do hope that taking the time to hear from people who were in your shoes is an encouragement and hopefully a helpful reminder when times get tough.
Thank you, Sabrina.
The school more and then trust my child more.
Here, we'll start.
So this is her process.
Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Erin Breakers.
My name is Christina Black. I'm Elizabeth Plummer.
My name is Karen Kyle.
Jeff Fuller.
You guys will become my next interview.
I would say it's important.
There was a lot of self-discovery. It was a blossoming experience for her, and the growth just really picked up.
Transformative. Transformative for your daughters because the challenges and just all of the changes the sophomore year leads to meaningful change for them. My role becomes more of a consultant than a CEO in her life. So it's time for me to start to step back a little bit and trust the school more and then trust my child more. So this is her process of her life and she makes good decisions and she's got good folks leading her at the school. And I just sort of titrate up my trust in her and my consultation services more and more and my CEO services less and less. So I think this is a great year to start to step back a little bit more and to just kind of start the launching process.
Allow her to make tough decisions, navigate life herself, really just allowing her to become who she is and have the confidence to stand up for what she believes in.
Not being reactive to their emotions and how they are handling the challenges and their own stress in their lives. Honestly, to not take it personal because they are going through so many changes. Your sophomore year at St. Agnes, there's definitely an increase in rigor academically. They start to really come out of their shell a little bit more because they now know the school, they know the ins and outs. And so there's a lot of changes.
Just trying to allow Carson to experience that growth and not be the hovering helicopter mom that I tend to lean into. And like I said, I have 4 girls, all very different, but I understand at some level you have to back off and allow them to experience things socially, academically, really getting involved in just talking to their teachers and me not saying, have you gone to talk? Have you gone to community time? What did you do today? Like allowing her to just kind of follow her own lead. Carson actually said, Mom, I got it. Sophomore year is about being here, being engaged, being active, and the college counseling center on campus is going to walk you through all of the steps you need. I have so much trust in the process that they have to prepare my child for where she needs to go each year. Learning not to fix it. Because if I solve her problems, she doesn't learn how to solve her problems. She doesn't gain the confidence that she can solve problems later on in life. And so I know that our daughter is very smart. She's very good at solving problems. And I need to give her the gift of working these things out. And
also the ability to come and consult with me from a place of non-judgment so that I can help make sure she's, on the right path.
Kate's our only child, and so for us, it's one of these things where it's like, we've never done this before, right? Having the opportunity to say, I need to sort of let go a little bit and let her do her own thing and chart her own course, if you will. It's at times challenging, right? Because, you know what you have a plan for and a desire for with your child, but also recognizing, especially when they have their voice and they use their voice. And St. Agnes has been great at helping Kate continue to find that voice. It's been wonderful for us to be able to say, okay, like, she's gonna have this under control, so we can feel comfortable allowing her to take that initiative.
That words matter. So, as the frustration may grow, like with a, poor grade or a poor choice that she's made, how I say that I'm frustrated in her matters because she resonates with that. So whether it's like a look in her eye or a tear or a, hey mom, what you said hurt my feelings, I had to be cognizant of that.
They're in a developmental stage where they're testing boundaries, they're increasing their freedom, and that's important and it needs to happen. And so figuring out where the boundaries to hold, how much freedom is the right amount of freedom, and kind of dealing with your own parental anxiety about that. That's been a process for us this year, and it's a really necessary process. But I guess I was a little bit surprised by how much harder it is for me to say no sometimes and how much easier it is to say yes.
Learning to be more curious about what's going on in their lives as opposed to being corrective. When we come from a place of always trying to correct, I think that sometimes it comes off as maybe trying to control them, and they're at an age where they're learning their independence. When you come from that place, I think they're going to be a little bit more open as opposed to being consistent. Absolutely, yeah.
You gotta stay the course and understand that it might be a little bumpy for the first couple of years, and then something transitions from my experience. So if you have to have, like as a parent, you have to have a peer parent to talk to, or the wellness counselors, like you've been a great partner for me, or a teacher. You have to have those conversations with people just to like test your own, am I doing the right thing? Or what do you think about this? Don't isolate yourself in thinking that my child is just suffering or my child is insufferable or whatever the thing is. Talk to other people and have a partnership.
Sophomore year is a very pivotal year to kind of set that foundation because it only gets busier from there. And then they graduate.
I do hope you guys found that to be encouraging. A lot of you guys do have students who are older and have gone through this process, and it does go by fast. It might not feel it in the moment, but it does go by fast, and we are all celebrating their graduation. And so, students are not alone in the support that they have here at St. Agnes. One of the supports that I have is at the very beginning, from day one of the school year, I have hosted sophomore meetings where in a small group I am meeting to formally introduce myself as the wellness counselor for this class, and to also share with them what sophomore year is like. That is when I share the video that you guys saw, the student perspective, where hopefully they are validated for the stress that they're experiencing even now, and then also hear from their sisters, older sisters, what are some ways in which we can be successful this year. It's a lot easier for them to hear it from someone else rather than from the adult in the room. We have other supports that exist here on campus. I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Karen Lopez, our interim director of the Student Success Center.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Karen Lopez. I'm the interim director of the Student Success Center this year. Just a little note, I know many of you knew Miss Allen, and she has gone on to start her own private business. We're so excited for her, but she will be missed. So I wanted to introduce you to our team this year and how that's going to be working. So I will handle student academic concerns that come through my office. If any of your students have an LP already in place, I'll handle any changes to that, any help navigating that for the student on campus, any accommodations issues, and then I'll continue to serve as a learning support specialist. I have one-to-one meetings, group meetings with students. I help support students who are struggling academically, but also sometimes a student wants to really move from that college prep up to honors or AP the next year, and so we can talk about maybe tweaking some strategies there. And just to note, I'm going to encourage you to remind your student of the things that they learned in freshman seminar. A lot of those tools and strategies I saw them put into place. And also, I just told them this might not be something you need right now, but maybe it's something you'll need to pull out when you have chemistry or another year. So remind them that they do have some tools and strategies, and if they need some support, please have them reach out to me. My partner is Dr. DeFork. She's our Associate Learning Support Specialist. She handles our concussion, extended absence students, and also does some one-to-one meetings and classroom support. Our math specialist, Mr. Meller, is on campus every day from 8 to 1, and he is available for one-to-one and support. A lot of his students come through the teachers, if the teachers feel that they need extra support. But if that's something that you're looking for, please feel free to reach out to me, and we'll see if we can connect you with him. Ms. Pradia continues to be our academic support coordinator, all things testing center and college board and standardized testing. So please reach out to her for that. And then if your sophomore has not been in the intake with a learning plan or has had testing before or maybe has some new testing, our intake person is going to be Courtney Orsak, who will be doing all those initial evaluations and meetings. So if that's something that you're looking at, you'll be reaching out to her. If you came last year, you know that the planner is really important. I heard the students mentioning it. So just want to reiterate, that's like first line of attack. If your student's beginning to struggle, let's take a look at your planner. How are you keeping up with things? What does that look like right now? What has worked for you in the past? Just redeveloping some of those habits that worked last year. We still have the St. Agnes paper planner. That is available. If your daughter didn't get one, please have her check in with me if she needs one. We also put a very simple digital planner online. It's under the student support tile. Students can click on that. Super simple. So I know some students use Google Calendar. That's great. But if your student has always struggled with a planner or loses their planner, this is really good. It has the monthly view, the week view. They just click on the date to add whatever they need, and it's there. And I'm happy to give them support with that, but I wanted to point that out as a new resource for you all, for your students. And just for us, some upcoming events. On Monday, your sophomore can come and show us just their current planner, whatever they're using, or if they have questions or haven't even started their planner, come to the library conference rooms and we'll help them. And they get Pop-Tarts for that. We've actually, I'm sorry I didn't get this to you, but we are not doing the flipped math class. If your child is in a flipped math class, and it's not very many, I don't even know that any sophomores are in one, feel free to reach out to me and the math specialist for support. But we are going to do a general math strategies. Also, because your daughters are in chemistry, that might be also a good pop-up for them to come to during community time on September 17th. All of this will be advertised to the girls as well as to you in Tiger Tracks. We'll be handling problems-based, how to prepare for problems-based assessments. And then we help the girls plan for exams in December. For you all, in September 23rd at 8:15, we're going to redo a talk we did last year that got a lot of good results, which was the coach approach. I heard a lot of parents talking about approaching conversations with curiosity, non-judgmental. That's what we cover in this coach approach. Kind of how can we get her to elicit that voice of change? Not me telling her what to do, but how can I draw that out of her? If you did not attend and it's something you want to do, that'll be repeat. If you did attend and want to come back, that's great, but I wanted you to know that is a repeat. And then in January, we're going to be talking a lot about what independent skills are really necessary in order to be able to go off to college. It's going to be open to all parents of all grade levels, but it's kind of like, what are those executive function skills? What are those independent skills? Because I know sometimes we can think, she is not ready. What's it going to take? I'm not quite sure what that is. And so we'll kind of go over a little checklist that you and your daughter can kind of work towards so that you both can feel confident when she goes off to college. I think that was it for me.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Lopez. We look forward to your events.
Thank you.
I'm going to introduce our Director of College Counseling, Ms. Danielle Washington, to share about the role of college counseling in the sophomore year.
Good morning. Happy to see all of you guys, some of you guys. I was your daughter's college counselor and they graduated, so it's lovely to see some of you guys this morning. So what to expect? I think it's really important as we think about 10th grade year. Is really the foundation year if you start to think about the classes that they are going to perform well in. Their freshman year, they had an opportunity to meet me. I came into their freshman seminar class and I talked to them about GPA and a transcript and a major. And I also talked to them about, what do you see your life looking like? Those are questions that were not asked to us as we thought about transitioning from high school to college. So I think they have the autonomy and the capacity now to say, what time do I want to wake up? Do I want to work at a desk all day or do I want to work out in the park? And I know sometimes it's like, wow, they get to think about those things, but they absolutely do. And their freshman year was really important to create the foundation of what it means to be a high school student here at St. Agnes. So as you think about them coming into their sophomore year, with this being their only second week of school, they are really transitioning to, now I'm in upper level classes, and now I'm starting to think about what my GPA may mean. So some of the things that I think is really important that you guys can start having conversations around is that on October the 15th, they're going to have their PSAT here on campus. We will, as a college counseling department, get them all set up. College board set up, get them training on what a PSAT digital test will feel like, and then it kind of will transition them to when they take the SAT. Our recommendation is that no student should be taking the SAT or the ACT their sophomore year. They should really get the practice PSAT and get a feel for the test. Then they can also do a practice ACT to see which particular test they believe is best for them. They also can determine which test will be best for them based off of how they perform in their classes. Their math classes or their science classes will be a true indication on if they should be taking the PSAT, ACT, or SAT. But those types of conversations won't be happening until their junior year. As a department, we really believe in age-appropriate conversations. And sophomore year, the appropriate conversations are, what are some interests that you may have that you can explore over the summer? What are some opportunities that you can expand on? And as a department, we will be sending out summer opportunities that students can explore. Along with summer opportunities, getting a job over the summer. That's awesome too. Babysitting over the summer, having some responsibility instead of really getting a deep dive into where do I want to go to college. It's completely okay for students to tour colleges their sophomore year because they have a little bit more wiggle room before their junior and senior year summer, but we really like for students their sophomore year of the summer is to explore opportunities, get jobs, babysit, do things of their interest that they feel that it may plateau them to their junior year, because their junior year, it gets a lot more nitty gritty, of course, in their senior year. Spring of their sophomore year, they are assigned a college counselor. So right now they belong to wellness, which is their wellness and their academic counselors. Then their spring of their sophomore year, then they will be assigned a college counselor. We sit down and we partner with the wellness counselors and we say, okay, based off of your experience with these students, where do you think it will fit in as far as our caseload? Our caseloads are not based off of alphabet. It is based off of each college counselor's experience with the students and just also our educational experience within working at a high school. We have so many different college counselors that have experience working at Rice or UT or administrative experience within different types of high school. So we like to make sure that we are meeting our students where we're at and selecting a correct college counselor for them so that it is not based off of the alphabet. I want to share that. Also, if you had a college counselor for your older daughter, you will stay with the same college counselor. That is something that we try to do because you already have a history with the college counselor. So the key milestones that we really want to focus on for this particular semester is the PSAT. They should be, we send out a study book for them. That's a great idea for them to do, maybe a page or two a night to get more familiar with it. It is all digital, so they can log on right now to the College Board and start to practice some of those exam questions. And they also can use a resource called Khan Academy, where it tailors where they're at academically once they input their information. But we want it to be a very low stress year because as we move into the junior year, we start pretty early in October with families, meeting with families and having a big family night to transition us into our one-on-one meetings with your family and with your daughter. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have about our college counseling programming. Okay. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or anyone else on our team. We don't typically host one-on-one meetings with sophomore families as far as talking about college counseling, but we will pick up the phone and have a conversation with you and kind of help you if you're saying, well, my daughter's interested in this, what should we be doing? I think one of the best pieces of advice I can give you is, this is a piece of advice that I told, we had a senior family night on Tuesday. If your daughter is telling you that she wants to be an engineer or she wants to be a lawyer or a doctor, her academic profile should represent that. You can't be an engineer and you've never taken any classes that align to that, or you've never had any opportunities that align to that, because colleges will not take you seriously. So that would be the piece of advice that I will leave you and that you should share with your daughters. How can we create a profile that aligns to what you want to do? And it is okay if they don't know what they want to do because they're only 14 years and 15 years old. Have a great day. Yes. Oh, go right ahead.
Should we encourage them to be going to the college, what they call nights when all the colleges?
Absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned that. Those are two things I forgot, so I appreciate you. We have rep visits. Our rep visits start in September. They are welcome to go. What is a rep visit? Colleges come, admissions colleges come, and they go to the Commons, and any girl is welcome to come and say, hi, I'm Danielle. I'm only a sophomore, but I want to know more about your programming. So then they start to create a relationship with that institution, so then they can see if maybe this will be a good fit for me. So they do have that. We do have the Catholic College Fair that we partner with Strake at with. They're welcome to attend that. That is a great night. We also have a virtual fair that we do on the spring that we will share out. So those types of opportunities are wonderful opportunities for girls to start getting access, so then they can make informed decisions about what they want to do. Thank you so much for your question.
Will we have information about, we have an email about that?
About what specifically?
When are those events?
Absolutely, yes, you will. As far as for rep visits, it's for specific for students, so they receive those emails. We send them directly to them every single time we have someone on campus. We also are having a UT visit here soon. It's open to the entire school. So we send that communication directly to girls because we do believe in girls driving their experience with colleges. We do send communications to families, and we start newsletters to families spring of you guys' sophomore year that you'll start hearing from our department. Yep, at the Commons. It's during community time, so they are not missing instructional time because we want to honor instructional time. So from 9 to 10, we have rep visits come, and if it's a UT, then we'll give them a special time so they can come.
Are the girls have the opportunity to go to straight rep visits?
Yes, great question. So in the past, we really didn't collaborate very well with Strake. A part of my mission is to make sure that girls have access to make sure that they can meet and greet with colleges and have opportunities. So this year, reached out to the director and said, hey, how can we get our girls over there? How can they, because Strake allows visits all day long. We only allow visits during community time because we honor instructional time. So if you have an open lab or community time, then they can go over there. Yeah. So we want our girls in classes. Not saying they don't. They're boys.
Is the PSAT, like the timing of it, is it a short version of the SAT? Is it a full SAT?
That's a great question. She asked about the timing of the PSAT. They have made it, because it's a digital version now, it is a lot more conducive than it was in the past. I know that also the ACT will be moving to an online as well, but right now it's just the SAT and the PSAT that is Uh-oh, sorry. Oh, it's okay. That is a much quicker version. And students will know how they're doing based off of if the questions start to get really easy, they're not doing really well. If it starts to get more rigorous, it's like, oh, okay, I'm doing well. So that's how you can kind of gauge how you're doing. Again, this is just a practice because we know students struggle with test anxiety. It's a real thing. And I also love to share with students and with families. You are not a number. You're way more than that. You have way more to offer.
When is it though? Is it in the spring?
It is October the 15th.
Sorry. Oh, really?
It's here on campus. We set them up. During their community time and academy support, we send them an email and say, hey, this is your time block. Let us get you set up for the day of the test. They don't show up, we go find them. Are there any more questions? Go right ahead.
Are there any online resources or apps that you would recommend?
Khan Academy. Khan Academy. It's a free resource. They can then, after they take their PSAT, they can match it, and then it can give them questions based off of that. And that is something that you can say, hey, that's something that they can be doing over the summer of their sophomore year. Before I give you your cell phone back, let me see you do an hour at Khan Academy.
I would also, sorry, jump in really quick. I would like to.
Oh, Albert I.O. Sorry. Gotta go to that one.
Could you repeat that?
Yeah. We also have purchased as a school Albert I.O.
Yes.
And I recently, last week, and I'll send a reminder email this week, all students have access to practice questions for PSAT, ACT. Well, for sophomores, it's PSAT and practice ACT. Next year, when they become a junior, they'll receive access for independent practice for SAT and ACT, and that continues through senior year as well.
Final question. So is your curriculum regarding like the SAT and PSAT centered more around test taking rather than content? Because I feel like, at least for my daughter, taking the test in the structured form that it is one of the major challenges, right? So is that more what you're gearing the instruction towards, like the test taking itself, or is it the knowledge based?
Sure, we are not teaching to the test.
No.
However, lots of our curriculum helps to support student performance in the exam. So for example, I'm sure all of you are really familiar with the term MEMB. Yes, yeah, I'm hearing the laughter, okay? That's a great vocabulary tool, and we use it curricularly because it helps support vocabulary, which is a big section in those standardized tests. So I would never say that we are teaching to the test, however, our curriculum helps to support students perform well in those tests. And on a grand whole, we see the overall testing, our students do very well across the board.
Thank you.
Of course.
I know that we are doing here the PSAT, but is there a way that they can do the free ACT as a test?
It is available. We don't offer it here at St. Agnes, but you can log on to the ACT website and you can sign up through there.
For the free?
Yep.
Can you talk about our expectations we should have about like UT and A&M and percentage?
I think you guys can probably tell I'm a very direct and honest person. I think the expectation should be really low. And not because I want to name this, not because you don't have amazing young girls. I'm going to tell my daughter the exact same thing. Baby, your expectation should be really low because you just don't know what to expect. That's it. That's the one thing you don't know what to expect unless your child is in the top 5% or the top 10% for Texas A&M. You won't know that until the summer of their senior year. You'll get an email from her and she'll let you know. And just because your daughter's in the top 5% does not guarantee interest into their particular major. It's just into the institution. And I'll name this too, so you can know this, and please hear me and please trust me. You do not need to apply by August the 1st. They're going to tell you that. They're going to tell you that, and it is not true. There are girls who apply August 1st, and there are girls that apply November 1st, and they still get in, or they still don't get in. Both things can be true, and people will tell you that you got to get it in early. If you get it in early, you're going to get accepted early. No, you won't.
Because there was a rumor that it was enrolling schedule, so everybody trying to
Yes.
go first.
So I'm just going to share that. You will make informed decisions based off of everything that I share with you, and you will do what's best for your family. But there's no buzz around August 1st, except for it's coming from like Texas A&M, and that's because they just want your money. Are there any more questions? Okay, I'm happy to answer anything that you might have. I'm over on this side. Feel free to call me anytime. Have a great day. Thank you.
Lastly, I know some of you guys need to leave. Please feel free to do so. Please, please, please. Thank you guys so much for coming. I want to introduce our class support here on campus for not just students but also parents. Our director of campus ministry, please.
Hello everyone, I'm also a sophomore mom, so I'm sitting here as one of you. I'm also one of here. Just quickly, many of you are already part of our campus ministry happenings, our meetings. But if any of you have not had the chance to meet me or come to one of our gatherings, we have plenty of things from rosaries being led every Tuesday over here, to breakfast to celebrate the Virgin Mary, to a day of service with your daughters later on next semester, mini retreat for parents in Lent. There's a lot of offerings. You don't have to be Catholic, everyone is welcome. And not only moms are welcome, fathers are also welcome. So anyway, just saying hi. If you want more information, just come to me at the end. Thank you.
Okay, well, so I am so grateful for your time, your energy, just the space that you guys have been able to offer me to stand in front of you guys to share about sophomore year. I do want to honor your time. Please feel free to leave. I did email all of you guys at 8:30 this morning to help us improve the programming we offer to our parents. If you guys can fill out that exit form on your own time, I would greatly appreciate it. That way we can continue to improve. So thank you guys so much for your time. Please grab coffee if you have not already done so. Thank you.